They say perception can be deceiving, can have you believing. So the kind of the reason you're in your feelings. And they say that your mind is the most powerful part of your body, can have you feeling sinful, yet have you feeling godly. And I'm just trying to maintain my balance on this balance beam of life. Quote that I've been seeing on IG that I've come to love, and it goes, the sooner you realize I'm not you, the easier life will be, something like that. But I love it because it's so true. Too many of us forget that there is more than one way of looking at life. Like perception and the way that you choose to perceive things from only your point of view is really what's holding a lot of you back. What's holding us, let me not include myself, us, because I do it sometimes too, but it's holding us back because we only look at life from our point of views. There's a million other points of views out there. We cannot do that. So when we do that, we cause problems in our own lives with other people. We make things deeper than they really are. You know, there was a period of time in my life where I did a lot of like self-perception and kind of ignored other people's reasoning, and it didn't do anything but cause me headaches. So y'all know my favorite quote, you live and you learn, or you crash and you burn. And I learned, and you know, I try to now look at things from the other person's point of view or other people's point of view before I jump to a conclusion. Now, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of slack for this, but I'm going to say it anyways because that's how I feel. Let's take the H&M thing for example, right? Okay, the coolest monkey in the jungle. I understand the confusion. I understand the anger, the frustration from both ends. You know, I've been fortunate enough to learn about other countries due to me being in school. I've taken 2 different diversity classes, and I'm aware that some countries, they don't really, I don't think this is right, but they don't really acknowledge race. Like, you know how in America, if you go to apply for a job, they ask you for like black, white, Indian, whatever. Some countries don't do that. Like, they try to just ignore race, like, you know, because they don't want to make it a thing as a whole. Don't agree with that, but that's how it is. That's their truth. That's their life. So when the whole thing with H&M came out, I don't know. It's like, I didn't immediately get upset because I didn't really know the story. Like, I don't think any of us really knows. So, you know, when it happened, I kind of was like, okay, well, there's a lot of different ways you could look at it. Yes, you could look at it as they purposely did that to be racial. You could look at it as the person who was in charge of this advertisement probably had no idea that that would be offensive to African American consumers. You could look at it as maybe the little boy picked out the hoodie himself because he wanted to be the coolest, because, you know, he's a kid and kids don't know about race and they don't know about right and wrong and they don't know about all these things until we teach it to them. And maybe he just didn't know, and maybe he just didn't care, because when we were kids, I'm sure a lot of us wanted to be a lot of weird things like Zaboomafoo. And for those of you who don't know, Zaboomafoo is a lemur. He's a show that I used to watch, and I used to love him. I used to love the show, and I watched it every day. And if my father got me a hoodie that said coolest lemur in the jungle, I would have loved it because I was a kid. And as a kid, you don't see the difference. And I say that just to say, sometimes let's think, let's look at it from a different avenue before we react, because sometimes we can be wrong. Sometimes we can be right, but sometimes we can be wrong. And when our actions affect other people or have the ability to affect other people, we should just spend a little bit more time thinking, because not everybody was raised like us. So as I stated earlier, they say perception can be deceiving, can have you believing sort of kind of the reason you're in your feelings. These are very true words. Perception can be very deceiving and can leave you in your feelings. So let's think before we react. Understand that everyone wasn't raised like us. Everyone don't face the same struggles as us or face the same struggle as us. Everyone doesn't have the same lives, and you can use this with anything and with anyone, from someone you're dating to a friend to a brother to a parent. Just look at life from the other person's view.